Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I will be talking about how crystals and what are crystals, how crystal form and what are crystals. Have you ever looked at this gorgeous quartz and know what is it? What is it? It's a type of crystal made out of silica, densely packed together and then pattern, strictly patterned. Um, and you not to, and I will show you how to make some crystal too. So don't forget to watch to the end. And now first, you need to know what are crystals to grow them. Crystals are like in this picture are densely packed atoms bound together patterned in a strict pattern that just can't leave that. It needs to be that way. It can't be like tear apart. It's really hard to tear apart. And as you can see here, now, sodium chloride is my example, and like it's kind of looking cubic, so it's one of the seven one of the seven crystal systems. Its crystal system is cubic. Fulgo or pyrite is one of the cubic too, and there are seven crystal systems. First is isometric. It's literally cubic, and its example is fluoride. Tetragonal example is wolfenite. Orthorhombic example is tazonite. Monoclinic example is azurite. Triclinic example is amazonite. Hexagonal example is emerald, and trigonal example is rhodochrosite. Those are really hard names to, you know. You can know how a crystal form, but first, to see the differences between dilute and concentrated. Dilute is mean when it has less solute to be dissolved here, and concentrated is a lot more solute to be dissolved in the liquid. And there's even more things that are easier to form crystal just from dilute and concentrated. Like here, concentrated means saturated. So saturated solution, and here as you can see, a saturated solution is it can hold as many solute as it can at that point, and you need to add some extra solute and then crank up the heat so that the extra solute will be dissolved, because the heat make the liquid easier to dissolve the solute. Then you need to let it cool slowly, and it's a saturated solution now. And you also need to provide it a nucleation site so that the solid particle will start to bind on it as the solution starts to lose its heat, so that it can hold as many solute as it can, and the solute will start to participate out and form these nicely crystal thing. Those are the conditions the crystal needs to form, but in the natural there are more than just this. In the natural you need heat and time too, as hot as it's boiling hot, and that slowly cool down. um the heat the like as I said before, as it slowly cool down, it will lose some of the solute will lose its solubility, and it would start to precipitate out. And the first one to be formed is corundum, such as these sapphire or ruby, and next to be formed is like opal, And the next one is quartz, but you need to remember that it needs to be contained these so that it can form these, and there's more than just these two. You also need some pressure like with diamonds. And here's the part where I will show you how to make a homemade crystal. Yay! Ugh. And this is the diagram from before. You need to make it like to a saturated solution. You just need to boil the saturated solution and then put some solute in it until the super saturated solution can't dissolve it anymore. And then you can do it with sugar, Sugar, it could be. And then you can add some, need to boil it, and then you can add some dye, which would be really cool. And then you need to provide a nucleation site, and the crystal will form. This is known as rock candy. You can eat it, you can like lick it. It's really cool, and it's an example of a crystal too. You can add some dye and then do the stuff. And so thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in another episode. Here's the image links.